I'm down in the orchard. It's the end of the day. I'm waiting on these noisy nut jobs to get ready to go in the pen. I had them trained all winter long to go in there when I show up at the end of an evening, and they'd go right in. I'd put a little food in there for them and bribe them, and they went right in. Then we got a new Drake, and he won't obey. And then we got the sitting mama, and she gets up as soon as she sees me, and he's, get away from there. Got one hen who's behaving. She went in there like she's supposed to, and her rooster husband, can you see him? They're right back in the back there, behind the board. Then I'm waiting on a mama with chicks for her to go in there. Meanwhile, these guys are running around like nuts. And you can hear the flies buzzing around here. And some of these ducks are eating the flies. You can just watch them. They do this kind of snake-like maneuver with their head and walk around the ground like that. And they're just having a good time. I guess that's why they don't want to go in. But while I'm down here, I wanted to show you something in this trash can. There's a video out. A guy named Nick Ferguson. I guess Pastor may have done a video on him on Patreon. He gave a talk at Special Operations Equipment, like store headquarters something, about fodder trees, about how if you cut a tree off ground level in the winter, it does something coppicing, where it'll grow little shoots instead of the whole trunk coming up. And I've got one right here that we coppice because I actually did not want this tree in the orchard, and so we cut it off, and then it came back doing this thing. And so now I've got this, this stump with these young shoots coming out of it. Well, apparently, long time ago, people would ferment the cuttings from trees. You cut the little coppicing. There they are. I'll show you one more time. And the chicks up front. There they are. I'll stop turning around and making myself motion sick. You cut those shoots off, and then you put them in a barrel with water, and he said molasses, and they ferment. And the fermented juices from that is a high protein feed that you can feed to your animals as well as your hay, because the hay doesn't have a lot of protein. And so what I did was I cut some shoots and things off of the fruit trees here because they needed pruning anyway. There's water spouts and stuff that need to be cut off. And I didn't put any molasses. I cut green shoots off the peaches because they're the greenest trees in the orchard, even though the fruit did horribly this year, and has for every year. The tree itself has very, very healthy branches. Like I have the apple tree covered right now because it's suffering horribly in the heat and with the bugs. So I just covered the branches, hoping it'll stay alive another year. But I figured the peach trees and the pear trees that I'm putting in there should have a pretty good sugar content. And the liquid is fermenting because inside the barrel there is white bubbles. And he said that's a sign that, the fermenting is happening and hopefully no mold. And so I've got both my water catchment trash cans in that state. Now, he does say later on in his video to fill the barrel all the way up. So right now we have so little water, I don't want to do the next level yet until we get a rain and I have water to cover the leaves, because the whole point of the fermenting is to break up the twigs. So what I did, he said run them through a shredder. We have a shredder, but we've never used it, and I don't know how to start it. And so what I did instead, thinking, medieval, is I just chopped them with my clippers and ripped the twigs and stuff up, green branches now, and put them in there, and then covered them with the water, and they are fermenting right now. And he said it takes about a month and a half to fully get to the full strength, and then you've got a high protein, high concentrate liquid in there that you can put in the animals' feed, and it helps them. So that's my experiment down here in the orchard. Pastor told me I should go ahead and do a video on it because it started to work. Here, I know the camera's a little strange, but you can see the bubbles in there. And yeah, it's got a sweet smell too. He said there'd be a sweet smell if the fermenting is going correctly, and it did. So another success, and I will try feeding it to the ducks, in another month. Hopefully we get rain by then. All right, y'all. Bless you. Good luck on your homesteads. Good luck experimenting with different ways to create food for your creatures, to store food, to grow food. Bless you. Shalom.